Hello, this is Rachel from the Dotting Center. Today I'm going to show you a detailed process video of this dot mandala painting. I'll show you how you can easily draw a unique mandala design using my reversible stencils. And we'll also cover things like adding chalk finish medium for a good base paint, using different dotting tools, and creating loads of different dot shapes.
Please note, I give you full permission to copy this design. I want to say that up front because copying other artists' work is strictly forbidden except when you give permission, which of course I'm giving you now. This isn't meant as an easy step-by-step tutorial, but if you'd like a PDF pattern download of this design, let me know in the comments below. If I get more than 15 comments that say, "Pattern please," I'll make you one because I'm cool like that.
Phew, okay, let's get started. I like to use chalkboard paint for the base coat for my paintings because I use stencils, and if you use a chalk pencil you really want to have a surface that has enough grit so that your pencil will show up. If anything is too glossy, the chalk pencil will just kind of glide over the surface and you won't get it to stick. So I wanted to show you this Deco Art chalk finish medium. You can mix that with any acrylic paint as long as it is matte or satin, and it will turn it into a beautiful base for your stencil painting. So the first step is to find center, and I just use my ruler by going from corner to corner. And for this project I'm going to use the Daisy stencil from my reversible mandala stencil collection, and we're going to use the third design down, this one. I think it's really pretty, and that's going to be kind of the center of our design, and then we'll work our way out from there. Okay, so here we go. You want to line your stencil up with the center dot, and this is the image from the book that we're going to replicate. Basically what you do is you take and draw two lines just like this, and then you count two. 1, 2. You skip two lines and then you draw the next two lines. You do the inside section and the outside section, so you just draw 2, skip 2, skip 2, draw 2, all the way around. Okay, so we have our first side done, and now these are reversible, so we're going to flip the stencil over and you can see through the stencil onto your surface how you're going to complete this design. So basically you do the same thing, you draw 2 and then draw the inside sections, and then you skip 2 lines and then you draw the next 2 lines. And then you do the same for the inside section, making sure that you skipped 2 there. Okay, so you skip 2 here and draw 2. Okay, so we have our design completed. It matches exactly with what the booklet shows. Now, this is good for any mandala. You could use this as a base for any mandala, but what I want to do is kind of keep going. I want to design with these stencils and add more to the empty spaces, and so I'm going to use the Lotus stencil from that same reversible collection, and I'm going to add kind of a pointed shape to those 4 corners right there. So draw one side, flip it over, and then complete that shape on the other side. Okay, so from this point, I know that I have extra space on the outside of this design. So I'm going to grab my compass and just make a couple of circles extending out from that center, and we'll go from there. So I just want to draw a circle around the canvas so that it almost touches the edge of the canvas directly out from the center. And now I'm going to pinch it in just a little bit so that I have another inset circle from that shape, and just go around. Maybe it's like a 1/2 inch from that outside circle. And that fills in the space from the design to the outside edge of the canvas. Okay, so now I'm going to bring out the big guns. This is my 12-inch Lotus stencil. And what I'm doing here is I want to extend the design out to the corners of this canvas. So what I'm doing is just drawing a little corner shape from the outside edge inward. So I'm going to flip it over, line it up with the center dot again, and do the same thing on the other side. This gives me a little pointed shape on the corner. Okay, so now I see that there's an intersection point right there between that little corner point and the curved lines, and I just kind of complete that shape all the way around the canvas. So now I think it might be helpful to have kind of a crosshair shape so that I have the canvas divided into quadrants. So I just add those lines there. You can use a ruler, or you can use, this is the 12 line divider that I offer at the dotting center. And now we're going to add 4 little points to complete that shape. I think that looks kind of neat. So now I'm going to add a pointed shape to each of the 4 corners of the canvas using my 12-inch Lotus stencil. You just line up the center and then rotate it just a bit to get it exactly where you want it. So I want it to kind of intersect with the corner of the canvas. I line it up. I draw all 4 shapes on one side, and then flip it over, line it up with the center, rotate it the same amount on the opposite side so that it intersects with the corner, and then complete that shape. So the final step before painting is taking a wet cotton swab and wiping away all the chalk lines that you don't need. Okay, so the first dot, always so exciting to get ready to paint. Now we get to use all the pretty colors. Speaking of colors, this project uses Arteza heavy body acrylics mixed with Liquitex pouring medium. I have found that I really like the thickness of the dots that I can get with heavy body acrylics. So that is really, this was the first project I did with those paints, and I wanted to experiment with it and see what they could do. And I've been using them ever since. So I'm quite impressed. So as for the colors, I'm using different shades of reds, greens, golds, and pinks, but you can choose to use whatever colors you'd like. This project originally started as something that would challenge me artistically. I wanted to do something that was different than what I had done before. So using a green base coat kind of freaked me out in a good way. It kind of made me go out of my comfort zone. And whenever I do that, I am a little bit more careful with how I work. And so what you'll see here is I'm just filling in those chalk lines with dots in whatever way I can, using whatever colors I feel will look good. There's no real major plan. I go into this, it's just kind of one shape at a time, and I enjoy that. It just feels fresh and interesting, and it challenges me. I don't know, do you guys feel like a good challenge every once in a while? I think it breaks you out of habits and patterns, and it helps you grow creatively, and I love that. So here I am experimenting with a tiny brush for micro dots. I still prefer a silicone tool for my tiny dots, but every once in a while I'll bust out the brushes just to see if maybe I like them, and I still don't. So here I'm going to walk the dots around that large shape using my stylus tool. This color is my favorite color. It is Arteza's Emerald Green, which is so pretty. Okay, so now I see there's a perfect little shape on the outside edge of this section that is just needing a swoosh. It's the perfect shape for it. So I'm going to use my stylus tool, load it up, and drag it out. So I'm going to walk the dots using that center line, moving out. So now I'm going to transition to pink and just add 3 little pink dots on the outside edge of that red dot. Okay, so we completed the center section, and now what we're going to do is work into that teardrop shape that's coming up next. So the great part about using stencils is you could give 100 different artists the same stencil design, and they would fill each one of those shapes in a different and unique way depending on how they design, which is amazing to me. I love seeing the different variations you can get when using the same stencil pattern. So now I'm using whites, making a little drop shape with a stylus, and then I'm going to walk the dots out from that shape all the way to the edge of those little sections. Okay, so that marks the end of part 1. If you want to stay tuned and see what happens, stay tuned for part 2. It's the second part in this exciting dotting adventure. And hey, if you liked the video, hit the like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. And if you want to help support me, go to the Dotting Center and buy yourself some awesome art supplies. It would be much appreciated. All right, guys, until next time, bye.